I was coming downhill. There was an overpass at about, I'd say, where like my horizon line would be, and there's an overpass, and I couldn't really see the other side of the highway because that overpass was blocking it in the hill. And when I got about 50 yards from that overpass or so, I saw the truck coming through from under the overpass, came through the guardrail. I mean, it happened so fast I wasn't even able to get a chance to get a full 4-letter word out. And it was done and over with already. I seen a flash. I seen the cab coming towards me. I yelled, and that was it. Basically, when he hit my truck flew up into the air. The witnesses say it came more than 10 feet off the ground. And at that time, my trailer came disconnected from the tractor, and it went off into the guardrail, off to the right side of I-95 into like the woods a little bit. And there was another car, I guess, that was behind me, and my tractor landed on top of that car. And also his trailer came separated from his truck. And the way I understand it from witnesses of people that were there is that his truck like barrel rolled down the highway and was rolling over cars and stuff like that at the same time that it was spitting out home heating oil, fuel spitting out of it as it's rolling down I-95. Again, I don't remember any of that as it happened. I remember coming to when I was, they had put me on a stretcher in the middle of the median of I-95, and that's when I remember becoming conscious again. And they were asking me if I knew what happened, and at the moment I couldn't tell them. I couldn't remember. I was confused. I didn't know what was going on. I did look over. I think it was to my left. I looked over and I seen my truck. I recognized it as my truck from the name that was on it, and I was scared because I didn't know what happened. And one of the first things that came to my mind was that maybe I fell asleep and I caused the accident, and it was terrifying. I mean, it scared the crap out of me. I thought it was me, and they kept asking me, do you remember what happened? And I couldn't remember what happened. And I remember they kept asking me on the way to the hospital, and about halfway to the hospital, it was like snapped like a picture in my head, and I remembered the truck coming at me, and I told the EMTs, I said, the truck went through the guardrail and hit me head on, right? And they were like, yes, that's what happened. And it was a big relief. I mean, I was in a lot of pain, but it was a big relief that I wasn't the cause of it. I remember that because my dog was with me, I was more worried about my dog than anything. He wasn't injured. He didn't have a scratch on him. He was covered in diesel fuel. This gentleman named Vincent Gagliardi, I never met him, but he was at the scene. He was a witness.
Just pulled over to the side over here, and the only movement I saw was him and the owner. And the owner fell out of his truck and climbed out. I didn't see what he did. He was just sitting there wagging his tail.
Do you know what the dog's name is?
No
Nobody
idea.
happened to
I just
know,
pulled him
did
out
they?
of the truck.
Never got in touch with him. I wish I had. I regret not getting in touch with him and thanking him. But it certainly meant a lot to me. I liked I-95 in Connecticut.
You did?
Yeah, I always thought that, well, it was the times that I would be going through that there'd be no traffic. Plus, I always thought that Connecticut drivers were decent drivers as far as being considerate and knowing how to drive on a highway. As far as like the 2-lane, pass on the left and travel in the right lane, most of the time people in Connecticut would always follow that. So I never really had much problem or aggravation traveling through Connecticut. I've thought that I have guardian angels watching over me. That's one thing. Another, and then I've gone into the thought process of the science behind it, possibly. I believe that if my trailer was full, I'd be dead too. My trailer was empty.
What was your load?
I had appliances, but I was empty. I had made all my deliveries. My load was usually appliances, washers, dryers, stoves, TVs, usually a full trailer from floor to ceiling, front to back. And if I had all that weight in my trailer, I probably wouldn't have made it. If I had weight in my trailer, because it's like an accordion, you know, all that weight comes up. So like he had 9,600 gallons of fuel behind him. If I had the same weight, I probably wouldn't have been here. It would have been even a stronger impact, more force and weight behind it. You know, it's that chapter of my life at this point, just recently, is pretty much over now. And being with it, being in court and all that stuff, I couldn't move on. I didn't have closure. Now everything's done. Now I can move on, and now I can have closure. I can put that in the past behind me, and it'll always be a part of my life. But yeah, move on.